Hey guys, this is Unix. As you already know from the title, in this video I'm going to talk about what to expect from the Great Confluence update. This would probably be the next big patch, since no big changes came recently other than the patch where they brought the neutral items. Now before I start, I recommend you guys to check out part 1 and part 2 of this video, as you guys won't understand most of the things I will say in this video if you guys haven't watched them yet. So go check them out first. They cover the low side of the Great Confluence, but that law is kinda needed to understand the predictions and the changes I'm going to talk about in this video. So yeah, check them out first. And if you guys already did check them out, let's continue on with the predictions on what to expect from this next big patch, the Great Confluence. First, let's talk about the new heroes. The last time we got new heroes was like a year ago, so I think it's about time we got a new batch of heroes. And if you guys have been keeping up with the news about Dota, there was a recent hero leak of 19 possible new heroes, so I think some of them have a high chance of making it to Dota soon. I talked about them in high detail in my hero leak videos, explaining their possible abilities and so on. You guys can check them out if you like, links are in the description box below. The most prominent heroes from the leak are Puppet Master, Valkyrie and Vampire. So I think they have the highest chance of making it to Dota soon. Most probably only Puppet Master and Valkyrie will be released, since the hero releases usually come in twos. But I'm keeping my fingers crossed that we might get more than 2 heroes, cause this is the Great Confluence. And this year around we are having the TI-10, so I would say it's like a milestone for Dota, so I think we might get more than 2 heroes this time. All of these 3 heroes have Hon counterparts, so it further proves my theory that I said about the Hon universe merging with the Dota 2 universe in my last videos. So I'm going to base most of my predictions betting on this happening, and you'll see why as I go on. Both Hon and Dota heroes have counterparts of each other in both games, as they are both based on the original Dota All-Stars, so I think these heroes who are more or less the same won't change much, other than some balance tweaks and maybe, just maybe, have some abilities reworked based on their Hon counterparts, like adding new functionalities to existing spells, like how Counterspell got an active component when it previously only gave a passive magic resistance. And there are other Hon heroes who are mixtures of 2 or more Dota All-Stars heroes, like these guys shown here. And some of them have some interesting concepts and abilities, so I think we might see these concepts and abilities being repurposed for future Dota heroes. Let's explore some of them. Gemini is a hero that have fire and ice abilities just like Jakiro, and have an ult similar to Brew where he splits into the 2 elements. This is a cool concept that might make it to Dota. Then we have this hero Solstice, who is a hero with abilities that change functionalities based on the time of day, which is also a really interesting concept because we already have Night Stalker, but he only depends on night and his spells doesn't change much, but this hero's spells change dramatically from day to night. So this is an interesting concept. While exploring these heroes, I found more Hon heroes who are similar to the Data League heroes, further proving my theory where I said the Hon and the Dota universe is merging. Riptide, who seems to be the Sea Mystic hero, whose theme matches the Sea Mystic hero. And if you guys remember what I said in the Data League video, I said that the Sea Mystic hero may have something like the Ocean Heart's passive, and guess what the Riptide hero has? He also have an ability like that. So I think Riptide is the hero who the Sea Mystic is based upon. Another one is Zephyr. This hero is definitely based on the old removed hero Terzikaze, the Wind God. He has abilities that are almost identical to that of the removed hero, so I think this is a revived version of Terzikaze, and this matches the prediction I made for one of the Data League heroes called Zephyrus. And I said Zephyrus could be the rebooted version of this old hero Terzikaze too. And they have similar names, so do I need to say more? So I think this Zephyr hero from Hon is gonna come as Zephyrus to Dota. One thing to note is that this hero is a little similar to the Vibrant Outrider hero, who is an uncompleted hero that never made it to Dota. Another similar case to this is the Engineer hero from the Data League video, who I said is probably based on this uncompleted Mortar Team hero who never got released into Dota 1. And I found this hero's revived version in Hon. His name is also Engineer and he has the following abilities, and they match very closely with the abilities that I said the Engineer hero from the Data League may have. The Keg could be the Gravity Mine spell. Steam Turret is the Layer Siege spell, which also have 2 versions to toggle from, just like Layer Siege does. Overdrive might be Shield Wall, and his alt Energy Field might be the Tesla Coil. I mean, the ability's icon is literally a Tesla Coil. Coincidence? I think not, cause this is too much of a coincidence to be just chance, right? I'm sure there are more similarities like this, so I think the heroes from the Data League are the Hon heroes who doesn't have a Dota 2 counterpart, making their way to Dota as new heroes. And like I said in the previous video, this matches the hero count comparison I made before. where the addition of the current Dota hero count and the leaked hero count plus the hidden hero equals the Hon hero count. With all these hero revivers like Terzukaze and Mota team popping up, I think Icefrog is having the intentions of bringing the old, removed and uncompleted heroes back to Dota. If this is the case, I hope that he brings back the old hero Gambler, who was supposedly removed because he was near impossible to balance. Which, by the way, Icefrog, if you still have trouble balancing that hero, I tweaked him a bit to make a balanced version of Gambler, just so you know. With the heroes out of the way, let's talk about the other changes. With the hero releases, we might also get some new comics expanding on the lore of heroes. I think probably these comics will center around the new heroes or Voidspirit, as he is the one who talked about the Great Confluence in the first place. And maybe they might confirm my headcanon theory in the process. With that said, we can also expect some map changes. If the map changes also follow the theme of bringing back the old, I think that there's a possibility that the shrines and the side shops may come back. And maybe might even introduce new kinds of jungle creeps, at least to replace the removal of those ancient prowler camps. Cause those prowlers were present back in Dota 1 as dragon spawns, and there was another kind of ancient camp in Dota 1 that had ancient creeps called stalkers who are not present in Dota 2. And I found some unused models for the stalkers, and those prowlers have actually replaced these guys when they were introduced. So this time around, they are replacing the prowlers. Or in the worst case scenario, they might bring these demons back to the game. Or both of them might get introduced again. Who knows? And I also found out that there are some unused neutral abilities. So these might get used on these new ancient creeps. So you can expect 2 to 3 new kinds of ancient camps. The map might change a bit too because of balance reasons, cause we constantly see things like the Radiants have a higher chance of winning cause of high ground something, and the Dire have another advantage over the Radiant because of Roche control, etc, etc. I always thought, why can't the Dota map be balanced literally? Like the same map reflected down either side of the river? Wouldn't that be balanced? I know, that would make the Dota map a lot like League of Legends, but seriously, wouldn't that clear all the balance issues once and for all? I mean, look at this League map. It's perfectly balanced in the literal sense. If this happens to Dota, we won't have those balance issues regarding the map anymore. Plus, I noticed that they have 2 Roshan-like creep bosses on either side of the map, so yeah. Anyways, keeping on the note of Roshan, let's move on to the items. Hon has multiple maps, unlike Dota, and there are 2 Roshan-like big creeps in either one of them. The main one is Congo, and the other one is Transmutarine. Congo basically drops items just like our Roshan, with the token of life being the Aegis and bananas being the cheese. And the Transmutarine, the Roche from the other map, drops the token of vision, which is basically a gem of true sight that is destroyed upon the owner's death. Which sounds a lot like this removed neutral item, the third eye. So I think this item might come back as a Roshan drop item. Another removed neutral item that can also have a possibility of coming back as a Roche drop is the fusion rune, as Hon also have a rune like the fusion rune. So this would make the Roche objective more important. If this happens, I think the Roshan drops would be something like this. Or if they for some reason decide to add 2 Roshan creeps on either side of the map like LOL, they might switch up all these Roche drops to random or something. So will we get 2 Roshans in this new update? Well, according to one photo I found in the internet, Roche seemed to be a mixture of these 3 ancient creeps. And now if we add the new ancient creeps that I mentioned before, we got another set of 3 ancient creeps. So maybe the other Roche is a combination of these 3? Another fun thing I found is that these 2 photos, which is a neat coincidence if you ask me. Maybe after all we'll get 2 Roshans like Yin and Yang. That's something to think about. With the Roche drop items out of the way, let's talk about the other items. Just like heroes, even items have similar counterparts in both games. Let's talk about the items that are distinct and have a high chance of making it to Dota as new items with the update. This item burns mana like Diffusal and purges as well, a lot like the old Diffusal blade. Could this be a possible Diffusal update? I also found the perfect icon for this item. This is a custom icon from Silkbreaker. It fits perfectly for a Diffusal Nullifier combo. It's a blade like Diffusal, spiky like Nullifier, and have a purple color scheme. Then there's this item like the old Bloodstone that reduces death time based on the charges it gains from kills and assists. And this item is similar to Kaya but deals extra damage to enemies based on their HP, not a percentage based amplification like Kaya. I think it would be a good item on nukers against high HP heroes. Speaking of Kaya, the Trinity Blades of Hon have slight differences as well. Yasha is more or less the same. Sanj is the old Sanj with the passive meme, kinda like a mini Eye of Skadi, and the Hon version of Kaya doesn't grant spell lamp but rather gives spell lifesteal, much like the recently added item Voodoo Mask. Speaking of newly added items, these newly added Dota 2 items had Horn counterparts. Horn also have the consumable version of Scepter, the Aghanim's Blessing. It has a different color, which I think is a good idea if Dota did the same. Maybe change the color like this, or reuse the icon from the Tome of Aghanim for this. With the newly added items having Horn counterparts, even some neutral items have a Horn version. This item is a lot like Philosopher's Stone. It gives a passive GPM when the user is not killing creeps. A very good support item to have. Arcane Wing is actually all removed item from Dota 1 brought back, so its duplication in both games is kind of understandable. And then there's this item called Spyglass. It says it can be used to grant a buff called Scoped on yourself, but it might be something similar to Scan in Dota 2, and Telescope reduces the cooldown of Scan, so yeah, maybe some of these neutral items will be converted into purchasable items. This is plausible as some of the neutral items seem like they are the upgraded or the basic forms of existing purchasable items. I mean, look at these items. These neutral items were actually normal items before they were added as neutral items. And these neutral items literally had a build up in the past. And these are some of the potential neutral items that can be converted into purchasable items. I know IceFrog probably didn't add these neutral items just to be converted back to normal items. So if IceFrog really does like the idea of keeping these neutral items, I have a suggestion where the neutrals drop another type of currency, like say these currencies called taffy. Like the neutral creeps have a chance of dropping these taffies that can be used to purchase the neutral items after collecting a bunch of them. Like for example, tier 1 items will cost 5 taffies and tier 2 items can cost 10, etc. Basically this makes you pick between getting smaller neutral items to get an early game power spike or save up for a good item later down the line. To balance this hoarding of these taffies, they can implement a thing where a percentage of the neutral currency drops when you die. Much like how SF loses souls after he dies, this would make killing jungling carries more rewarding. This technique will also balance out the fact that the heroes who are bad at jungling can still get these taffies through kills, as most non-jungling heroes are usually good at killing, like for example Skybreath Mage. This would be great because it would be less random than the current system of dropping neutral items. Cause I swear I never seem to get the leveler, and in 90% of the games, enemies have a chance of getting the leveler but not me. And I always seem to get this useless item somehow. Please IceFrog, fix this. Moving on to consumable. This is a consumable that is instantly consumed upon purchase and grants you with a quest, kinda like a battle pass quest, and when you complete this quest, you get a reward, and it can be only purchased once per game. And this item is a consumable item that grants a AoE movement speed boost for allies. This would make a possible replacement for the recipe in Drums of Endurance. And then there's this consumable that restores 1200 HP and 800 mana, basically a late game consumable. This would be very useful on heroes who have to carry clarities and salves just to stay on the map, like Storm Spirit. Then we have an item that grants a chance to proc a physical damage proc, basically the physical version of Javelin. And another item that procs Chain Lightning every few seconds. So this is not a chance based one like Maelstrom, but more like Imp Claw. So I think these two items will build into Basher and Maelstrom respectively, and the Javelin can build up into MKB. And then we have the utility items. This item reduces the death time, a possible component of the Bloodstone like item that I mentioned earlier. This item heals HP and mana per each enemy death near you. This item reduces armor in a AoE while also increasing allies armor in that AoE. Much like the old Dazzle's ultimate spell, Weave. This is basically the physical version of Veil. This would be a possible medallion upgrade. Then we have a boot that is possibly good on offlaners, as it grants armor for each attack you take, much like Timbersaur's reactive armor minus the HP regen. Just imagine this item on Timbersaur, it would be a pain. Moving on to the spellcast items. This item boosts Spell Amp, a possible upgrade for Kaya, just like how Manta is for Yasha and Halberd is for Sanj. This item allows non-spell immunity piercing spells to pierce spell immunity, which if you think about it is kind of overpowered. So I think this item should either have active where there's a small time frame where you can pierce spell immunity with your spells, or when you activate it, the next spell you cast will pierce spell immunity. Yeah, that would balance this item a bit. And this item, when activated, converts your auto attacks into magical damage attacks and drains mana per attack. This is a really good item in certain scenarios, like if you are a PA facing a Timbersaur, this would be really good because his reactive armor will be useless if PA have this item. And lastly, we have the damage items. This item grants bonus damage with kills and assists. It doesn't say if the damage is permanent or temporary, so it can be either similar to Atrophy Aura or Duel. And this item is an item that grants raw damage, and it can be consumed for a permanent damage bonus, like a damage version of Moonshard. And I found the perfect icon for this item. Fun fact, this icon was made for an item called Curse Rapier, which never made it to Dota 2, and this name closely resembles the name of this item from Horn, which is named the Corrupted Sword. And lastly, we have this item that increases damage with lost health, kinda like the old Berserker's Rage Husker had. Also, this item can be a potential armlet upgrade and would be a great item on Husker. And next up we have the new ranked season, cause it's been a while since our last ranked reset, so there's a high chance that the reset is gonna happen soon. And last but not least, we have the event. I'm sure with the Great Confluence update, we might get an event like Wraith Knight, where we fight these Ascendants and keep them from destroying the world or something, and in the process they will introduce the new heroes, just like how Wraith King was introduced after replacing Skeleton King during the Wraith Knight. I gotta say, at first I thought this Cosmic Traveler that is coming must be Spiritbreaker's master, not the Ascendants, who I think might be the Astral Trekker. And these voice lines from Earthshaker's Arcana signal his arrival.
They spoke of your arrival, but now I see you on your way. I had hoped to learn from you. All you've shown me is how to fail. You chose the wrong master.
And Void Spirit already has a voice line mentioning him directly.
Will your master show himself, or must I seek him out again?
And with all these old heroes seemingly coming back to Dota, it's not a stretch to say that this Astral Trekker might make a comeback as Spiritbreaker's hidden master, as a new hero in the near future. Anyway, back to the event. With the Agnes Labyrinth event that just ended a few days ago, there won't be a possibility of another event coming soon to Dota, right? Well, there was an announcement for a competition to create new sets for a possible new event. And a data miner found some files saying something about a Dire Tide event hidden in the game files. And this might be an indication of the Dire Tide event coming back to Dota. Again, following the rule of bringing back all things, this time in the form of the Great Confluence event. And the deadline for the competition I mentioned before was on the 24th of September. So basically it seems to be targeting Halloween, which is the perfect time for a Dire Tide event to occur. So I think the Great Confluence update may come as close as October 31st or much later in 2021. But why haven't there been any trailers or anything regarding the new heroes? Well, I think it's going to be a surprise hero reveal, because we have seen this happen before with Grimstroke, where they instantly made him a playable hero in-game on the day that they revealed him through a trailer. And this perfectly lines up with the recent announcement Valve made about a new hero that is said to be released by November. So I think they will reveal the hero along with this event. And here it says that they will release new heroes throughout the next year, meaning they have the intentions of releasing a lot of heroes next year. Perhaps all those heroes from the data leak, aka the Horn Hero ports. Seems like my theory is starting to make more and more sense now. This is even more plausible since the TI is postponed to 2021 because of the pandemic. So having a new update won't affect the data that much if it's released soon, so that they can balance the new heroes by the time the TI comes around. So yeah, either that or they will just do the event and the ranked season and release some trailers teasing the new heroes and release those heroes later in the TI, just like how Underlord was revealed. But that would kill the hype a bit and ruin a great opportunity to stir up the game a bit. I mean, we are all stuck at home, so having new stuff introduced to Dota is a surefire way to increase the player count. Well, this concludes my complete prediction of what the Great Confluence might be. I'm personally super hyped about this update cause I literally talked a lot about it. How about you guys? Let me know your thoughts about the next big update in the comment sections down below. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, don't forget to like and share this video. Subscribe to my channel for more videos like this, and turn on notifications so you guys get notified when I post new videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.